Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.
We are live. Welcome, everybody, to Wager Talk Today. I'm Lawrence Presman. That guy is Teddy Covers. And you're watching the best daily sports betting show on the planet. Teddy, 5% NBA play yesterday on the LA Clippers. From a fan perspective, holy Luka. From a betting perspective, holy Teddy, baby. Way to go, man.
Yeah. We'll talk about that and what bettors learned in just a few minutes. But first, let's talk about what we have on today's show. Steve Merril is going to come, and he's going to tell us if Missouri is going to be interested this week against New Mexico State in college football. The Tigers minus 28.5, total in that game 46.5. He's also going to break down some NFL for Sunday for us, the Panthers and the Ravens. Carmine Bianco and his 10-0 NHL run is going to join the show. He's going to give us opinions on the Sabres and the Senators, Buffalo and Ottawa tonight, as well as St. Louis and Chicago. My big game breakdown. We need some association in today's show, so we'll talk a little Dallas-Houston. And, of course, to close out every Wednesday, Arthur DiCesare from the Westgate Superbook gives us a peek behind the counter. We'll get the bookmakers' perspective as well. Loaded Wednesday show. Glad to come in off a winner, which didn't look like much of a winner in the first half of that ball game, Prez, last night. There you have it.
Dude, I had Dallas first half as one of my releases for my clients, so it worked out well for both of us. I cashed easy, and you cashed what ended up being easy. Teddy, I had a 4-1 night last night. My only loss was the over in the Memphis game. 39-point fourth quarter, man. Won my hockey again. I have a promo to give out to you guys. I'm going to give it out about 7 times today. Steve Merril is going to give it out too. It's Prez 399, $399 for my entire NHL season and playoffs. Goes all the way to June. Dude, I am freaking killing it in the NHL. Yes, not only am I killing it in the NHL for my clients, wait, I went 3-0 yesterday in the daily presidential address, all hockey, 2-1 on Monday. So guys, hit that like button. What would you like to say, Theodore?
I just want to say $3.99 for a full season of your hockey.
Yeah.
You know, and we're not talking like the season's half over or the season's even a quarter over yet. And that's nothing more to buy for the playoffs. That goes game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, we did not rehearse this. Guys,
yeah, I never promote you, but that's a deal. If you want to get on board with Prez's hockey, today's the day to do it.
Yeah,
what's that code
$399. The promo code is Prez399. Steve Merril, my brother. What is going on, my friend? You staring at Bitcoin?
Well, I think Bitcoin is in a range, by the way. You know, I'd said a few months ago, in June when it crashed down a little bit, I said it was in that range between 18 and 22, Prez. And that's what it had been, and then it broke below 18. I think that's the new ceiling probably. It's kind of been hovering between 16 and 18. So I think it's range-bound for a while. I don't think there'll be anything crazy, but yeah, I'm not sure there's a lot of upside in the near future.
Yeah, my dad called me last night. He's like, you got to sell all your Bitcoin. Sell it. I'm like, Dad, I'm going to hockey. I'll speak to you later. Steve, how you been doing, man? You winning?
Choppy. I missed a couple games last night, kind of chopping out, but basketball is up overall. But, you know, you talked about hockey, and that is a great special, Prez 399. Get the rest of the hockey season, because I don't do hockey, neither does Teddy. We do 4 other major sports, though. So if you throw hockey in there, there's 5 major sports going almost on a daily basis right now. College and pro football, and, of course, college and pro basketball every day in hockey. So those all sports, all access subscriptions, $39 for 1 day, $59 for 3 days. a pretty good way to step in and try everybody out at WagerTalk.com.
Thanks, brother. Okay, let's get into some college football Saturday. We got New Mexico State plus 4 touchdowns and a hook against Missouri. Dude, am I reading this right? Minus 28.5 with a total of 46.5. Let's just go with the team total New Mexico under.
Let's find a Square sports book from the mid-2000s, 15 years ago, that would still let me and Teddy and you, Prez, do the side total parlays in the same games like these, right? You just take the
listen, I'm not here to promote any sports book. They don't pay us a cent. But I'm positive FanDuel allows, or Draft, one of those two allows same game parlays. So yeah, it can happen. And we can ask Art about it later, Teddy, but this is as correlated a line and total as maybe I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, Prez. Many books are offering same-game parlays.
Right.
What they're not doing is offering same-game parlays where the side is minus 28.5 and the total is 46.5.
Oh, these damn books, dude. They're so picky, man. Like, come on. Anyway, I'll shut up. Steve, how do we bet
But Prez, the thing is, though, I mean, there were books 15 years ago that were doing this, as Teddy and you remember, so it just shows that you can beat books in the short term before they catch on, just like blackjack dealers would deal down to the final card back in the 1960s before Ed Thorpe came to town, right? So there are edges to be had. This is one that's probably gone by. But if you're going to play the total, I would lean over because I lean Missouri in this game. That's my preferred side here. And it's going to be pretty hard for Missouri not to cover and still go over because they'd have to get 30 on their own, right? So at that point, New Mexico State just has to score a couple. On the season, New Mexico State's averaging less than 20 points a game. They've played an extremely weak schedule, though, and that's the key to this handicap here. They're giving up just 5.3 yards per play. Their opponents are averaging 4.8, which is one of the worst in the country. They're averaging just 5.1 against teams that allow 5.8, and that's against a very weak schedule of opponents who are even weaker than those numbers indicate. The key here is what Teddy said earlier, though. Will Missouri be interested? And I think they will. This is one of those ugly games that we have this week. College football top 25 video is going to have a tough time this week, guys. There's a lot of these non-conference slates in the ACC, SEC, and other conferences. Missouri, though, just 4-6 straight up. They got to win this game, which they will. And then they get Arkansas next week. So, yeah, maybe they're looking ahead to Arkansas. Maybe they're a little beat up after getting blown out by Tennessee last week. Game that was close early. Near miss against Kentucky the week before. But I think they will step up here, and I think they'll win this one by margin because they'll be focused. They need to keep winning. It's a winnable game, a chance to beat up on opponent. And sometimes, later in the season, we got to just kind of step back and take big picture approaches on how the games have gone so far this year. New Mexico State early in the season obviously played some tougher opponents, and they did not fare well. In fact, they were a 36-point dog at Minnesota back in week 2, and they lost that game 38-0. A couple games later, they're a 38-point dog at Wisconsin. They lose 66-7. So that just puts this kind of game in perspective for me. Bad offensive team, as I mentioned earlier, with no backdoor cover potential. They average just 6.3 yards per pass, but that's against teams that allow 7.4. They average just 49% completions. They throw for just 146 yards per game. So no backdoor cover potential here. They've blown out as a big dog this year. And Missouri's only been favored by more than 20 a couple times. They won as a 20-point favorite against Louisiana Tech. They won 52-24 in the opener. And against Albion Crispin, they only won by 17 in the third game. But still, they've been a dog in every game the last 7 weeks except as a 1-point favorite. So I think this is a step-up blowout game for Missouri. They win by 30 or more.
So in my mind, Steve, this is a one-way handicap. All you're doing is handicapping Missouri's motivation. We know that New Mexico State isn't capable. We've seen the Aggies have very rough results in these road games against teams that came to play. But you're just coming off a beatdown by Tennessee. You got Arkansas on deck. You haven't won a game by more than 28 points all year. What makes you confident that Missouri's actually going to show up and be focused and not have the holding penalty that kills the drive and, just be able to maul this team?
Yeah, I think obviously it's somewhat Missouri's motivation, but I think you also have to factor in how bad New Mexico State might be. And like I said earlier, Missouri hasn't won by more than 28, but New Mexico State got blown out in those two games as a 30, like mid-30 underdog, 38-0, 66-7. So I think Missouri can have some holding penalties. I think Missouri can come in half focused, to be honest with you, and still win by 30 or more. And when I run the numbers here, when you factor in the schedule difference, it gets you Missouri in that 30 range.
No Prez coming in, so I'll come in. Steve Merril.
I was muted. Yeah, I was having a
Prez
sneeze.
399 gets it done.
Thank you. I didn't want to sneeze like in the middle of Steve's pick, so I muted myself. Anyway, brother, what do you? Before we got NFL, we're going to talk Carolina and Baltimore. Before we get into that, what do you got to promote for our clients?
Yeah, I didn't want to upstage Prez 399, so no special promo code on the show today, but I will have one this week for both my college football top 25 video on Friday nights. My NFL Fade the Public video goes up Saturday afternoon. Hit subscribe, hit the bell for instant alerts when those videos are live here on the channel on WagerTalk TV. And I will have a special promo code in both of those videos this week, and it'll be on my page soon. So check out my page, SteveMerrillWagerTalk.com, for a special discount code. Get there quicker, WT.buzz/SM.
Steve, so Baltimore off of a bye, -12 against the Panthers. It looks like Baker is going to be playing. We have another correlated total at 43.5. I've done my work on this game. I actually like the over. If you guys want to hear my reasons, watch the NFL presidential address. It'll be up tomorrow. Steve, how are you betting this game?
You know, in the videos last weekend, I gave a shout out for Veterans Day, all the great Americans out there that serve and have served, and asked them to comment below, Prez. It was pretty cool. Got a lot of veterans commenting back last week in those videos. So continue to do so. You know, chime in today as well if you're a veteran. We'd love to support you. The reason I bring that up, Prez, is because another great American is Ralph Michaels. And I asked the human database overnight.
That's a segue.
Yeah, how you like that? I asked the human database, how do double-digit favorites do off a bye week? Because that is a little bit of my concern here with Baltimore, right? They were playing really good football, and they got the bye probably when they didn't need it. And that great American, the pen, the human database, sent me the numbers pretty much straight down the middle. They're 33-6, double-digit favorites off a bye, 33-6 since 2008. But 19-2 against the spread, 20-20 over-under. So that's fine. You know, that's where it should be, right? That means there's really no edge one way or the other. So that was good, actually, for me. I wasn't looking for that to be a play-on situation. I was more worried that it was maybe a play-against situation, because my concern here is how Baltimore comes out of the bye. So I like the fact that it's really a non-issue. I like Baltimore in this game. And I've started to kind of early run my NFL Fade the Public numbers. As I mentioned, that video will be up Saturday. I recorded on Friday nights when I get all the data. But right now, Carolina looks like they're going to be a public underdog this week, which is pretty surprising considering they had gone 1-5 straight up until that Thursday night win. And by the way, last Thursday night, didn't do the video ahead of time, but Atlanta was pretty public last Thursday. I liked the Panthers in that game. I was not surprised to see them pull the upset. They ran for 232 yards, still having trouble throwing the ball. And now P.J. Walker is injured. He's out. Baker Mayfield will get the start. He was terrible earlier this season. P.J. Walker is who sparked this team, including that upset win against Tampa, the near miss against Atlanta. Keep in mind, though, he really struggled against Cincinnati a couple of weeks ago, the one good quality team they've played recently. They lost by 21, and Mayfield put up some good numbers in relief. I think the game was like 38-0, though, when he came in, so you got to disregard those. And on the season, they both have very mediocre QB ratings. So I'm not sure if Mayfield's necessarily a step down. I think Walker is due to regress, but I think the Panthers overall are due to regress here, and I like Baltimore. They're playing good football. I know the bye came maybe at a weird time, but once again, according to Ralph's data, it's not really a negative. It's kind of a nothing. And the Ravens are the player, and I actually think we get some discount with them, with the public being on Carolina this week, and Ravens win this one by more than 2 touchdowns.
So, Steve, what's the upside for Baltimore? You know, this is a team that's 6-3 right now, and all 3 losses came in games where they had a double-digit lead. They made a move to shore up the defense at the trading deadline. Do the Ravens have a legit Super Bowl? Is Baltimore a team we can talk about with Buffalo and Kansas City as having that type of upside in the AFC?
Yeah, Teddy, Gabe Morency and I talked about this last night, and I was talking about how if you look at the future markets, you do all the odds or whatnot, you know, Buffalo's at about 21% to win the Super Bowl, and then you've got the Eagles and Chiefs. And I think we all kind of feel like the Eagles are not as good as the Chiefs or the Bills, but the Eagles have the advantage, obviously, being in the NFC, an easier road there. And the Chiefs have to play Buffalo at some point. That's the same problem Baltimore has, because they're going to have to get by at least Buffalo or Kansas City, perhaps both, probably not both, but they're only the third best team, at least in their own conference. But I think there's some upside. I think Miami, by the way, as well, with Tua healthy, they've been very good, and they've beaten some good teams as well this year. You bring up an interesting question, though. This is something I've been debating. We talk about this in the NBA. You talked about it last night with your play. Do you penalize a team for being down a lot and then coming back, or do you penalize the other team for letting them come back? And we're seeing it so much now in the NFL. The Raiders, 3 17-point blown leads in the first half of this season. They'd only done that 5 other times in 60-plus years. The Cowboys, first time in history, they were 195-0 until Sunday with a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. They blow it against Green Bay. But I think Baltimore rather, might have some upside for the fact that the results have been closer than the margins maybe should have been at times. And off the bye, I actually think they will be focused. I don't think Carolina has a lot of backdoor cover potential without Walker this week. And I think this is a situation we can actually use that to our advantage, and the Ravens win by margin.
Steve Merril, everybody. Awesome stuff, Steve. On behalf of all Tennessee Titan fans, I'm not one of them, but this is the most disrespected team I've ever seen in my life. I understand Kansas City, Buffalo. I think Tennessee can beat any team in all of football. That's my attitude. I don't think they're as good as Buffalo and Kansas City. But, man, if Tennessee goes into Buffalo and it's shit weather in the middle of January and they're the ones with the raccoon coming out of the backfield, this team can beat anybody. Anyway, Teddy, you want to say something to that?
Yeah, the Ravens have 18. The Titans have 18 players on injured reserve right now. There were -5 defensive starters last week, and 3 more of them got hurt. And that's why Tennessee is being disrespected in the marketplace. They
were being disrespected before the season begun. And even with all those injuries, they still have Derrick Henry, and they still win games. You have the best running back in football. You have a great running O-line. You just slow this game down to a crawl. You beat anybody in all of football. That's not to suggest that Tennessee is going to win the Super Bowl, but I cannot for the life of me understand the disrespect this team gets. Steve, you've promoted. You've given picks out. You spoke a little bit about Bitcoin. Have you watched a great movie?
You know what I got flipping around last night, guys? And I got like 200 cable channels. I watch like the same 4. And I keep saying, why am I wasting all this money? So I actually put on a movie channel last night. I caught the end of Neighbors with Seth Rogen, Zac Efron, when they lived next to the fraternity house for the last hour.
Stupid.
It was good. I'd seen parts of that. Pretty damn funny. So yeah, it was a good change of pace from sports.
It's bubblegum. Awesome stuff. Teddy, what did you learn in the wonderful world of sports betting?
Oh, yeah. What Bettors learned last night? I learned that you don't want to sweat bets too hard in the NBA when it comes to the first half. Look, I had a 5% last night. Big ticket on the LA Clippers, plus the points, +7 in Dallas. They were down 25 early. Complete no-show out of the gate. The second quarter was uglier than the first. And when all said and done, lo and behold, the Clippers cover with room to spare at the end. And, of course, early on, the clients are all over me on Twitter. They're sending me emails. I'm getting texts. Yes, it's better to be up 20 than down 20 in any sport in the NBA before halftime. But, honestly, it's not that much better. In football, you're up 3 scores before halftime. You're feeling good about your bet.
Not if you're the Vegas.
In general, you're feeling good about your bet. All right. In baseball, you get off to a 5-run lead in the first inning or the second inning. You're feeling real good about your bet. In basketball, particularly in the NBA, these games revert to the mean. And the Clips righted the ship after halftime. That 25-point lead was dead by the end of the third quarter. It was a back-and-forth game down the stretch. Dallas wins by 2. No muss, no fuss. But this is what I'm saying. Unless you're live betting or you have a first-half wager, don't write off your NBA bets too early. Expect one team to make a run, sometimes a big run. Expect the other team to make a run right back. And it is definitely worth noting the Dallas Mavericks are now 0-9 against the spread. Their last 9 tries at -4 or higher. We'll talk about that again when it comes to big game break.
Teddy, off topic, not a betting question. I watched John Morant last night. I mean, firstly, he made a steal that had to be a Hall of Fame play. I mean, it was It was absurd. I don't even know how he knew how to time it. He wasn't looking at the inbound guy. I mean, it was unbelievable. Luka is all freaking world. My question to you is simple. Who's the best player in the NBA? Like, if you got, age aside, if you got to draft one guy, who would it be?
I don't know. I haven't spent any time thinking about it. I couldn't even begin to give you the answer to that question. It would probably depend on who their opponent is. I don't know. Okay. Who's the best player in the league? I could care. Giannis. Giannis is the best player in the NBA.
Yeah, okay. I can't argue that. I mean, I think I'd take Luka, but I'm curious what you guys have to say. Put it up in the comments section of the YouTube channel. Hey, Teddy, we need engagement. It helps our YouTube rankings. Don't be shaking your head.
I'm shaking your head because I wouldn't take Luka because I don't trust him on defense.
Oh, and that's fair. That's fair. I'm not Mr. Defense guy. All I can see is people scoring. But Ja Morant, man, oh my God, Carmine Bianco. Who do you take?
I have no comment, but I trust in Teddy, so I'll back Teddy on whatever he says.
Okay, well, now that that's sorted out, you're going to send Carm the $1,000 for that?
Not worth $1,000. Carm knows Giannis is the best player in the league.
Okay.
And I would love to see him in the Raptors jersey one day.
Welcome to Wager Talk Today, brother. What we're going to do, we're going to talk a couple of NHL games super quick, and then we're going to talk World Cup. No follow-ups. So you're going to talk Buffalo and Ottawa, St. Louis and Chicago, do them both at once. Teddy and I will shut up. The mic is yours.
Okay, so we'll kick it off with the Sabres and Ottawa. It's literally the somebody finally has to win game. Ottawa's struggling right now, 2-8 their last 10. The Sabres on a 6-game losing streak. They played last night in Buffalo and then got out of town quick. That's 6 losses in a row for them. And in 5 of those 6 losses, they've allowed 4 or more goals, and the Sens are pretty much the same way in their 8 losses. 4 or more goals in 7 of them. So you would think I'm leaning to the over here. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the play, but a little differently. I'm not going to take the over just because the Sabres have also struggled to score in some of those losses. So I'm a little worried about them getting their output tonight in the second of a back-to-back. The Ottawa team total is probably the best thing to play here. You can take over 3.5 minus 125. You minimize the juice, and I think Ottawa's on the cusp of starting to win some games after all of those offseason moves to bring in some scoring talent. So Ottawa minus or team total over 3.5 is the play in this one. And then we're going to switch over to the St. Louis Blues. Speaking of a team losing games, they lost 8 in a row. Finally got a win against the San Jose Sharks. And on puck time, I said, when a team gets that monkey off their back, watch out, especially if they're a good team, they'll start to win games. They go into Vegas as a big dog, get a win. They go into Colorado as another dog and get a win there. And now they're on a 3-game win streak. Finish off this road trip against a Chicago team who are losing games, having trouble scoring, and the regression has started with this team. And St. Louis will start their best goalie in net tonight. Binnington will start tonight. Thomas Greiss tomorrow at home against Washington. This St. Louis team is winning, and with a game against a depleted Washington team tomorrow, and then 2 games at home against Anaheim over the course of 3 nights, by the time Monday rolls around, this team could be on a 7-game win streak. So that's the NHL, the ups and downs of NHL. The St. Louis Blues is the play tonight. You can take them in regulation time. Forego that big juice that you'd have to lay with them and take them to win minus 105 in regulation.
Carm says, take a look at the Blues as favorites tonight. You may want to take them in regulation as opposed to the full game W, which is now priced in the minus 170 range. Some books even higher. Carm, let's talk about World Cup. Obviously, you're a guy that gets seriously into soccer, and this once every 4 years thing is a treat for all those who like to bet this sport. What do you have planned for World Cup coverage when it comes to videos, when it comes to plays? Talk about what you'll be doing for World Cup right here on Wager Talk Today.
Yeah, and I just wanted to end with a very good run in NHL, 10 straight winners, 5-0 last night, and one playoff for tonight. But as far as the World Cup, Kelly and I did a video that is up on WagerTalk TV. It's about 30 minutes or so, but it is a very informative video because I talk about running hundreds of simulations to come up with how the group stages are going to finish, which then populates the bracket and the knockout stages of the event, which helps you form an opinion or can help you form an opinion on future bets. We have a package up at WagerTalk where you literally, for $149, it's the early bird, it's $50 off right now. You get every single play, futures bet, prop play, any play, totals play that I release right through to the finals on the 18th. And that includes all 5% plays. You can get them all at WagerTalk, all in one package. And we've had a lot of luck with the future plays. The World Cup in 2018, Croatia and France in the finals, we picked 7-1 and 40-1. Italy to win the Euros, 12-1. Chelsea, Champions League, 20-1. And Real Madrid, Champions League, 18-1 and 33-1. So my clients have been pretty happy about the future bets, and I have some loaded up at WagerTalk. So grab that package and let's try and have another good one here.
Also, firstly, Carm, I think you assumed I was going to forget about your 10-0 run. No. 10-0 run in NHL, everybody. 15 more to go to beat Marco's record of 25-0, and nobody cheers for somebody to beat that bloody record more than me. Carmine Bianco, outstanding, brother. 5-0 last night in hockey, just seeing it really well right now. Congrats on that. Guys, due to popular demand, because I read all the comments yesterday, and you guys are just begging for World Cup info. Teddy calls me on the phone yesterday, 1:30 p.m. Eastern. I'll never forget this phone call. Prez, we need more World Cup info. So, as a result, Carmine Bianco will be taping a 1-minute segment every single day that will be aired on WagerTalk Today, starting on Monday. This will go every day, all the way through the World Cup. So make sure to stay tuned for that. Carm, with your 10-0 run, what do you have going for the clients tonight?
Yeah, only one play up in the NHL. It's a very short card, but so only one play up. And let's see if we can hit 11-0. Let's just keep this run going. I remember the last time I ran off 19 in a row, Marco greeted me with the black cat filing its nails gif on Twitter, wishing me luck. So Marco will do anything to protect that record, but we've got a long way to go before we get there. We'll just focus on one game for tonight.
Yeah, I know. Absolutely. Carmine Bianco, everyone, check him out on Puck Time. I was on that show. It was a lot of fun. I also made a huge announcement on Puck Time that you guys might want to check out. Teddy, get ready. It's a commercial break, big game breakdown, and of course, Art frickin' DiCesare.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.
It is time for today's big game breakdown. And people ask me, how do you pick what you're going to use for big game breakdown? It's fairly simple. For every show, we look at who the guests are going to, what games they're going to talk about. If we're a lot of times there's NFL and college football and NHL and college hoops and NBA and World Cup. And if we're short in any given sport, well, that's the sport I'm likely to talk about for that particular day. How do I pick the plays I'm going to talk about? a lot of times either a client selection, like this one is, or it is something that fell just short of being a client selection. This is a 3% winner, I think, for the clients tonight. We're going to talk about Dallas and Houston in the NBA. Right now, looking at the WagerTalk live odds screen, I'm seeing the Mavericks 9-point home favorites. Total's been bet down a little bit this morning. We're looking at mostly 220s across the board. And look, October 22nd, that was their second game of the season. The Dallas Mavericks were 5.5-point favorites against the Memphis Grizzlies, and they won that game by 39 points. Since that time, Dallas has been a favorite of -4 or higher 10 times. They've covered 0 of those games. 0-9-1 against the spread at -4 or higher, consistently failing in the role of a favorite. This isn't new. This isn't different. Last year, under Kidd, with Doncic behind at the point, tons of close games. Terrible track record as home favorites. Terrible track record as bigger home favorites. So at this stage with Dallas, we're not going to think about it. We're not going to spend hours analyzing the game. When Dallas is a home favorite, we're going to bet against them. And of course, we've got Dallas on the second of back-to-backs tonight. Last time, second of back-to-backs, they were -6 at Washington. They lost that game wire to wire. The Mavs ran Houston out of the gym in all 4 meetings last year. And the Rockets were not pleased with how they played after they came home after their road trip and got pounded by the Clips on Monday. I think Houston hangs around tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if this game, too, is very close in the latter stages. Give me the Rockets plus the points in Dallas. There's your big game breakdown. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Teddy covers. Man, I tell you, Art DiCesare, how great a guest is he? We are lucky to have you, Art. Welcome to Wager Talk Today.
As always.
So let's start right off the bat with I have a bone to pick with all sports books. You just happen to be the sports guy on today. This is not a personal thing. So I take Sam, not Jake Ellinger. I remember now where I got Jake Ellinger from. It was Jake something or other, a UFC fighter. I mispronounced. I said it wrong on Monday. I had Sam Ellinger under 100 and some 75, 95 yards on Sunday. He wasn't injured. He was on the field. He wasn't inside of the lines, but he was on the field. And
No, he was on
the
the
bet was
sideline.
nullified. It's still grass. Art, if you guys don't do your research and know that somebody is not going to play, I believe you should still honor that under. I want my money.
Well, good luck with that.
Well said.
Yeah, good luck. I will say this, we actually had a guy who worked for us, and he took Ellinger to, score the first touchdown in that game, and Matt Ryan snuck the ball in. So, he wasn't watching the game, and he thought he had hit it.
Oh!
Now, so that should be a refund. We refund those props. The place he went to, which I will not name, did not refund his prop. So they just took his money. So, we look at it as the guy might be quote-unquote active, but he did not play, must start, all those type of things. You're going to get a refund on that. So there are some books who could do you dirty like that, too.
So, Art,
Yeah, because that
sorry,
should be
Teddy.
that should be no action. Prez, did you get a refund on your wager? You got just,
Yeah,
it was
I
graded
did.
no action,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
In theory,
And I'm playing around,
that's the
Art.
way that the ethical sports books will do it.
And I'm playing around, Art. I mean, listen, I really do believe if you put a line up, you should honor it. But I understand that. So what you're saying is some books would have given me my money on the under, but I bet you that book would have nullified my bet because he didn't play, but still keep the other guy's money.
That's not what he's saying. He's saying that some books took the money that they got from certain props, but didn't pay out the other props or refund the money for the other props.
Oh, that's
Right.
that's insane.
Exactly.
So
Dicey.
insane.
That's
Yeah.
why
Exactly.
we love having the Westgate Superbook on every week, because they don't do business that way. Other books do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Art
More
That's
questions,
very true.
Prez? You want to rant and rave, or should we actually get some actionable info from Art?
You know what, Teddy? Bugger off, bro. I'm gonna bicep you to death. Art,
That's Flex Tuesday. We don't do it's not Flex Wednesday. That was yesterday. Living in the past.
Dude, I stand in front of the mirror and flex every day. I am the vainest
sure you do.
mofo around. Go ahead, Teddy.
I imagine that takes a large portion of your day, Lawrence. Put you over under 2.5 hours daily.
Yeah, like I'm on. I do that more than TikTok, and I'm on TikTok a lot.
I'm sure you are. Arthur DiCesare at ArtDice21 on Twitter. Art, I have a super contest question for you. And this has to do with people going out of town next week. Obviously, it's Thanksgiving. Obviously, everyone has to have their super contest plays in. There are lots of guys that they're locals, they're in town, but maybe they don't have a proxy set up and they realize, oh no, next week is Thanksgiving. We're going to be out of town. So I want to ask, first of all, what's the deadline for getting the plays in for the super contest next Saturday night? And two, if someone didn't set up a proxy to begin with, if they need one now, can they still do it?
So your deadline is going to be Saturday. We do, because the sports book's open till midnight, we do over the counter up until midnight, and on the app it's 9 p.m. As far as that proxy goes, I don't know the answer to if you can now just get like a 1 week proxy or a proxy moving forward. I'm sure if you reach out to all those proxies who, are doing their thing all season, I'm sure they can help you out or maybe give you a half season package or a couple week package. I know for myself, when I think I only went away once or twice during the holiday season. I literally had a friend go in, swipe my card, put my picks in. If you have someone you trust and you just say, hey, head down to the Westgate on Friday, swipe my card, here are my picks, it's 1 week. If you could survive, and like I said, you trust someone, that's probably the way to do it. But, you should reach out to some of these proxies. Maybe they have something like that.
Sure. And all the free time between now and next week, we'll make sure we get that taken care of. This is one of the busiest stretches of the year. This week right here before Thanksgiving is about as insane as it gets. That being said, let's continue our talk with some NFL discussion. It looks to me like you've seen a bunch of Packers money for the Thursday night game. How bad's your liability on Green Bay, and how worried are you that the Packers are going to win and cover this game?
Yeah, we haven't gotten to crisis mode on it yet, Teddy, but we've definitely taken Packer money. We're sitting Green Bay -3, -120 now. I know you guys were talking, or at least Prez was, about how disrespected Tennessee has been, and they have been. Last week there was a lot of sharp money on Denver. The week before, that number got to as high as 14. They didn't win the game, but Tennessee covered. Obviously, KC, people were happy to lay 12, 12.5, 13, 13.5. And then even the week before when they played Houston, people were taking the Texans, and the Texans are horrible. So, yeah, Tennessee has not been a team that bettors have liked to bet on this year. And Green Bay always takes money. The fact that they won last week and people saw that, oh, they're back. Rodgers has someone to throw to. So, yeah, we'll be buried to the Packers tomorrow. There's no doubt about it.
Art DiCesare, firstly, any chance it's going to peak around 3.5 so that I can bet Tennessee?
I don't know if we'll get there. We're right at the edge, obviously being -3, -120. We'd have to see some more respected people come in and want to lay the 3 -120, but just not there yet.
Art, for really quick, Manuel Rodriguez writes, Prez always says if it's 3 or less, take the money line. No, Prez has never said that in his life. He says if it's 2 or less, take the money line. At 3, it could be as high as -160. I'm not for that bet. It's at 2 or less, take the money line. That's important. Art, you'll get a kick out of this. Someone in the chat room asked, why is Teddy always so angry? The answer, because he has to do a show with me every day.
Every day.
Yeah, I mean, it's really straightforward, dude. When you got to look at this handsome guy, I mean, I'm the same age as him, man. Look at me, look at him. Like, come on. The dude gets off the show and he's in like old age crisis. Art, one NFL question, and then we'll go back to Teddy. Any big bets for Sunday? Anything we need to know about?
Yeah. Eagles at Colts. We've just taken nothing but Colt money. The Colt money when we had the
so.
Yeah, it's kind of that what you just saw. The Eagles lost this wonderful, I guess, Colt story of them hiring Jeff Saturday. When we opened it, we did our reopen on a Sunday. We had Colts as high as 9.5. Sharps took them at 9.5, 8.5, 7.5. It's now under 7. Colts getting 6.5 at home against the Eagles. And, that's interesting because the Eagles have been a team that not only the public has wanted to bet all year, but the sharp players have bet all year. So they're kind of going against themselves this week, taking all that Colt money early. We'll eventually get buyback on the Eagles now that it's under 7. They'll be in every money line. They'll be in teasers now. So it'll be interesting to see kind of where that ends up.
And it looks like there's been a fair bit of Jets money. It looks like there's been a fair bit of Steelers money as well. Are those two other games that the wise guys have hit earlier in the week, and anything else stand out for you in terms of NFL
And also,
action?
real quick, a lot of money coming in on the under in the New England game, too. Sorry, Art. Go ahead.
No, absolutely. No, Teddy, good call on the Jets. Definitely Pittsburgh. We had Pittsburgh 5. We had a really respected guy come in and take the 5. We're now at 4. That's obviously Steelers at home. Steelers were a good dog last week at home. Obviously, Cincinnati is better than the Saints, but Tomlin has been a good home underdog ATS. Lions have taken money too. Lions were 3.5. They're going to the Giants. It's now at 3. The Giants have been disrespected all year. Nobody wants to bet on them. It doesn't matter if they're a dog, if they're a favorite. People just don't like to bet on the Giants. We've seen it all year. That's why the early Lion money came in at 3.5.
Teddy?
Let's talk some college football as we come down the stretch. Here we are, mid-November, just a week from Thanksgiving. All the conference races are heating up. All the bowl eligibility teams are fighting for bowl eligibility. First, I want to ask you about Maction tonight, because I know you love yourself some Maction, Arthur. But also, for this weekend, what are we seeing in terms of big, sharp moves early in the week?
Yeah, as far as the week goes, Teddy, man, it's hard to find games. It's like, I'm going down the board and just kind of seeing where the money's coming in and whatnot. It's a rough week. I mean, just a couple of games to hit on. Indiana at Michigan State. Indiana sharp money came in at 11.5. It's now 10.5. And then Western Kentucky at Auburn. Money came in on the Hilltoppers at +7. It's now 5.5. So it's really only a couple of games. Like, it's nothing. Like, I don't have 20 games to promote on, Saturday. It's just, there's just not a lot going on. So, as far as the Maction goes, it's always these overs. Now, the overs were 1-1 last night. One completely blew out despite the line movement towards the under in the Toledo game. But, we always are fighting against over money in all these MAC games.
Teddy, you done?
Sure, you can go, Lawrence.
Okay, well, Art DiCesare, we got about 1 minute to get to 100 likes. I'm in shock, dude. I come on the show at the end of every show. I give out a presidential picks. I'm 5-1 this week. We got like close to 400 people watching the show and 91 likes. The 91 of you deserve my picks, but unless we get to 100, I ain't giving out shit. Art, what do you got to promote?
Well, first
Teddy,
of all, everyone give those thumbs up.
You can mock me all you want, Teddy. All I do is win those damn picks. Sorry, Art.
105 Thursdays, still going. It's still football season. You come into the Westgate on Thursdays, you're laying -105 juice. That's both sides and totals in NFL and college. Comes out about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, runs through the end of the day. It's a good way to save yourself a lot of money. And if you've been doing it all football season, you've put a little bit more money in your pocket. And, we still got a great app promotion. New users come in, they sign up, bet 100, get 100. It's like a free $100 roll. This is the time to take advantage with all the things going on. World Cup, college basketball in full swing. So, if anyone ever needs help with any of those things, You come down to the West Gate, you ask for Arthur DiCesare, and I'll be more than happy to help you with whatever you need.
Art, got one quick question before we let you go, Art. Who's going to win the World Cup?
Bro.
Who's going to win the World Cup?
Canada.
I'm going to say France.
The French. There it is.
Mbappe.
Arthur DiCesare at ArtDice21 on Twitter. Thank you so much. Lawrence, I don't care if you've gotten to 100 likes or not. I don't ask for likes when I do my big game breakdown, and I'm pretty sure we're close. So
we're way over.
Why don't we get right into it?
We're way over.
Presidential address?
Oh, I wanted to talk. Okay, guys, we got over 100 likes. Teddy wants to know why he doesn't need to get 100 likes for his big game breakdown. There's two reasons. One, he decided that way. And two, well, it ain't the daily presidential address. Okay, so before we get into two plays that I'm going to give you guys in hockey, I just want to say I won my hockey game again last night. My hockey record is ridiculous right now. I am 64% on the season. I'm a hair under 30 units of profit up already. I am 14-5 in 4% NHL plays. I am 75% in totals. I have a promo for you guys. It is Prez 399. Prez 399. You get my entire season and playoffs for only $399. Go over to the site. Use that promo code Prez 399. As for your free bets tonight, we went 3-0 yesterday. We went 2-1 on Monday. I would like to keep the run going. I have two for you, both in hockey. The first is Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings over the total of 6.5. And the second, I'm in agreement with Carmine Bianco, who was on the show today. The St. Louis Blues in regulation -105. Teddy, my brother, who knows what I'm eating? It's going to happen soon. Take us home.
That's going to wrap it for the Wednesday edition of Wager Talk Today. We'll do it again tomorrow. Same time, same channel, 9 a.m. here on the left coast, noon for you back east. Between now and then, you guys know what to do. Enjoy the games, and good luck with your wagers. Cheers.
Have you checked out all the new handicappers at WagerTalk? If not, here's your chance. You can take 50% off your first daily or 3-day all-access purchase at WagerTalk using coupon code TRYWT. Our new roster of experts is 30 deep, covering sports from all around the world, giving you tons of options to choose from. All you have to do to redeem this offer is go to WagerTalk.com, choose a handicapper of your choice, and use coupon code TRYWT at checkout, saving 50% on your first purchase.